Welcome to the Off-Pitch Podcast, where we show you the alternative sides of football by sharing stories and skills from all players of the pitch.
Let's get started.
All right.
So welcome back to the Off-Pitch Podcast. I have Boston Jade with me.
How's it going, everybody?
You are a freestyler and a street football player.
So that is correct. I do both street soccer and freestyle.
And today's topic, we are going to talk about hybrid, which is kind of your own concept and also brand, really.
Yeah, that's correct. I've more adapted the hybrid style. People have already been doing like hybrid, for example, Sufyan. He does both ground moves and freestyle.
And by hybrid, for people that don't really know too much about freestyle and street football, hybrid is a combination of street football or street move ground moves and freestyle football.
Exactly,
moves.
And it can be anything else within soccer. It could be combining the freestyle maybe with traditional soccer, or I know some people like to do trick shots. So it's just.
So you're saying that I'm a hybrid actually, because I'm doing a lot of trick shots and freestyle.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just the combination of two or more different elements.
And of course it's related to freestyle, to football, and this is actually really interesting because I recently or last year started Off-Pitch Center or also Street Football Center, which is kind of combining a lot of different alternative football sports, and it's the same thing you do. And also, like for me, as a football freestyler, and that's where I came from. I remember just like being so focused on the freestyle football moves and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I might not always have been looked at as a creative freestyler, but it seems like hybrid and your concept is a really good way also to think different, come up with new moves, and be creative with the ball.
Exactly. So in freestyle, there's many people trying to create new stuff. Adapt different ideas, and just by bringing in the ground moves, there's a whole new level of ideas that people can start doing, from bringing the ball to the air. You can do uppers to ground moves to sit downs, endless ideas. And actually, a while ago, for the old school, not old school, but maybe 10 years ago, it was ground moves were considered freestyle, right, as a category.
Yes, it was.
So it's adapting that and bringing it back, right?
Yeah, definitely. But I feel like freestyle has from being really basic, you do lowers, to getting acrobatic moves in, and you have always had ground moves and stuff like that. Ground moves before, just like acrobatics, were looked a bit down at or not as appreciated. But I feel like now the scene have moved on, and it seems like we are more into the creative part and bringing more ground moves in and trying to combining the different elements, instead of maybe like I was known for doing lowers, then you put the ball straight up, you do uppers. It looks much better and smoother when you can combine different tricks.
Yes. Yeah. That's the whole idea of the hybrid style, is being to be able to just transition from one section, either uppers or lowers, whatever it may be, into another section, sit downs, ground moves, and make it look smooth.
Can you tell us a little bit about how you structure your training, or how do you train when you're back home? Like, how is your normal training?
Most of my training, I will, of course, I'll dedicate street soccer to itself, just because I have to prepare for the Pana as well. But for the doing ground moves combined with the freestyle, I have the more flow mentality, to just go with the flow, similar to what Japanese guys kind of do, on the spot. Of course, there will be some moves that I'll want to try and implement into the combo, but for the majority of my trainings, it is just going with the flow.
Okay. Yeah, one thing I think is really interesting when it comes to the flow part is that you see some freestylers and street football players trying to create a good flow, but you can tell that it's they have thought about every trick and it's a routine. Yeah. So it doesn't look natural. For the Japanese guys, it seems like it's just like Kasane, for example. It just seems like it's random. Like the ball pops up there and he knows how to just create a really cool move, and it looks so natural. and then you have, for example, Arlen and Brynjar, where you know it's kind of planned, but they have they've done it so good that it looks natural, like it's just flowing, and
Their mastery of the ball is just at that level.
Yeah, but what you're saying is also just like trying to become as good as possible in different aspects, so you can actually react to the moment.
Yeah, exactly. And I've seen more freestylers recently, if they, let's say they're doing a lower set and all of a sudden they lose the ball, it starts to fall to the ground, they might try and adapt it into a ground move, because then it looks more like on purpose, even though it might not be necessarily on purpose, but it's just a great way to recover a drop.
Yeah, I agree. And also, I feel like if you have seen Michritz, he's really good at this, because sometimes he drops the ball, but then he makes a point out of it. So it actually creates a moment that is, I dropped the ball into...
But it was on purpose.
Yeah, but he makes it into, like, it's on purpose, and the crowd reacts because they kind of feel like, oh, he's not doing as well, but then he recovers and does even better. So he's like that wow moment.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can actually create those moments by being good at recover fails in a way.
Yeah, being able to recover, it's that reaction time and your ability to recognize what position you're in and then realize, okay, I could either do this move or that move. So it's just that adaptive reaction time.
Cool. Okay, so how do you build up when you're training? So back into combining ground moves with lowers. How do you do that, and how do you get started? And just tell us a little bit more.
So of course, as anybody else, you have to start with the basics. Learn some basic ground moves, some basic ground move combos, not master, but get basic lowers, being able to do 10, 15 tricks in a combo, and then you start to work on being able to either flick the ball up or maybe pop it up with your heel. There's many different options to pop the ball up into a lower move. For example, one of my favorite ways to transition from ground moves to lowers, I will do the move the clapper into the move Alto Mituzani, and it flows perfectly. So that's my favorite ground move to freestyle transition.
That's nice. Yeah, we'll try to show you guys some clips. I'm not sure if here on YouTube maybe, but on podcast and sound it's hard. But then you'll go and check out the YouTube channel. Okay, so because one thing also I've seen Licht, for example, been also quite known for doing air moves, or do you call it air ground moves?
So in the ground moves, the street soccer world, they're called air moves, so he does do quite a lot of air moves and pop-ups. I think his inspiration came because he started off as a freestyler and then adapted into the Pana and street soccer. So he already has that freestyle kind of mindset. Yeah,
no, I agree. I actually remember Licht from the beginning. He was just purely freestyle. Yeah. I was actually freestyling with him and Brisse down in Brisse's garage. He was trying to land T8V, M8V no touch. Yeah. And then just a couple of months later, he started with the street soccer thing. And I was like, I don't think that's so. I didn't, I was more into freestyle, so I didn't care too much. But now he's, doing so well. And
definitely.
It's good to see. But it's so... When you combine ground moves again with freestyle, is it more of doing ground moves, then you get into lowers, then you end it, or can you then bring it back into ground moves and keep combining it?
There's levels to doing the hybrid style, in my opinion. To start off, you do maybe 5-10 seconds of ground moves, and then pop it up, do 5-10 seconds of freestyle, go back and forth. But more recently, I've been trying to adapt it and maybe put the ball on the ground for only a couple of seconds, straight into a freestyle move, back into the ground move. Just those instant 2 to 3 second transitions. I think that's the next step for the hybrid style.
Yeah, I think that would look really, really nice.
Yes.
But also seeing a lot of ground moves ending in akas.
Akas, you can either end it in a aka or maybe the Dutch salute, standing on the ball. And the flashy ending where you pop the ball up, catch the ball, spin, those kinds of stuff. I mean, freestylers do it as well. But there's no, actual tricks to end the ground moves with. Freestyle, you have more of an option to end with a specific move. Finishing moves, a lot of people have, their next stall, they roll it down, reverse crossover out, So there's more options for the freestyle to end with.
Yeah, no, that's true. So for people that want to get started with ground moves, and for me, I found one of the reasons why I maybe started and found freestyle more interesting was because it was so clear. Like, this isn't around the world. This is a crossover, putting into combinations. When I see people do street moves, I love it because it flows so much more.
Yeah.
But it's harder for me to tell the difference between the tricks, and I found it harder to find like specific tricks. It was more like segments of tricks that you can learn.
Yeah, combos. Yeah.
Yeah. So people that want to get started with street moves, what do you have any tips?
Well, more recently, you can find specific move tutorials. Like, I know Jack Downer, he does tutorials. I'm sure Seon does as well. Lick does tutorials for Pana House, and
we're also now actually working on doing some stuff in the Off-Pitch app, so you can, like we said, track your own sessions, but you will also probably or hopefully create some videos, and we'll try to create a system there.
Individual tricks, exactly.
Yeah, so you can learn individual tricks, and then also maybe a little bit about how to put them into combinations, but first you need to learn each trick by itself.
The basics first.
Yeah. No, this is really interesting, and I think, you know, the hybrid touch, trying to bring in general other elements into what you do and look at you know, for example, freestyle in a different way. That will definitely help you to become more creative and to maybe also find more your own style, so you don't copy too much.
Exactly. That's a great way of putting at it. There's people who will do strictly, they have their lower specialty, uppers, the basics, and then it branches out. Maybe there's some people who will do the breakdance with the freestyle, or Jordan, he likes to do his hat tricks. So there's different styles that people will come up with, and that's just about starting off with the basics, learning maybe all around at first, and then going off into different styles that you appreciate more.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think it's good to see also the freestyle street football community also opening up, and especially for me, coming from the freestyle community, opening up to actually creating more hybrid versions, ideas, and combining. Just like for me, I felt like, you know, when I get into trick shots, people don't really appreciate it too much in the core community.
Yes.
But now more and more, you know, the same happened when acrobatics suddenly became a big part of freestyle, and also, you know, street football. But it's cool, and it's you know, creating. If you want to create your own identity, you need to bring new elements into the sport, and that's the way we can also develop the sport, I think.
And then people appreciate it more now.
They do, and and if you want to stand out as well on stage or whatever, you have to either become the best within a segment, or you can become pretty good but come with your own signature moves.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think this was really, really interesting. I don't want to keep the podcast too long, so this was a little bit about hybrid freestyle street football. So now we've been talking a lot about, you know, street football and freestyle football, but we also have other aspects, like, for example, at the center that I've started, we have tech ball.
Yep.
You have football. You can combine all of this, and a lot of people like me as well do a lot of clinics, like freestyle football clinics for football clubs. Do you do anything of that?
Yeah. So I mean, it all starts with the basic 11-a-side. That's where it all branched out from. 11-a-side to street soccer to freestyle, and then the smaller sports, like there's the foot volleyball. And so I have my Baller Up skills training program where I'll teach ground moves and freestyle to the traditional players and try and help them incorporate those street soccer and freestyle ideas onto the 11-a-side game.
Nice. And okay, so what do you think football players can benefit from street football and freestyle football?
Yeah, so street football and freestyle, first and foremost, it's fun to do. Creativity, being able to move the ball confidently on the ground with the ground moves. And for freestyle, it really helps your touch to be able to control the ball on your chest, on your laces, inside, knee, wherever it may be. So the freestyle definitely helps that first touch. And then the street soccer is about beating your opponent. And it does help with the defending as well, because you have to be able to read your opponent, what they're going to be able to do.
That's true.
And so I think it helps both offense and defense as well.
No, I agree. And a lot of, football players, keep saying to freestylers or street football players, but specifically maybe freestyle, that a lot of the moves that I do standing on my hands or doing around the world, it's not something you can do on the
game.
Yeah.
But that go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. It's just like you were probably going to say, is like indirectly it will help you, because you will become a better technical player, and also just like, for example, gymnastics can help you in many other sports.
Yep.
Freestyle football and street football can both make you more creative, but also more comfortable with the ball.
Exactly. It's creativity, confidence, and
Closer.
It's creativity and confidence with the ball, and being able to adapt on the field.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And also, just get back to that, the hybrid thing. It's, again, so important to be open-minded and bring other aspects of your sport into your own game, because it will open up more doors.
Exactly.
And, most likely also develop you as a player, if you're a football player, street football player, or a freestyler.
You'll become an overall better player in whatever sport it is that you do. Well, specifically for football, there's just the different football sports.
Yeah. No, I think that's all good. We have been speaking for quite a while, and I think more of you guys hopefully will bring this back to your own sessions, and that you can take something home. Maybe be more creative, open-minded to other sports like street football and freestyle football. If you're a freestyler, I'm definitely going to look more into street football, and also for football players to maybe look more into freestyle and street football to improve their game.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Tobias.
Thank you so much. And if you guys want to learn more, I'm going to leave the links down in the bio here on YouTube, and also in the podcast descriptions. And hope I see you guys in the next episode.